Well, who would have thought it 10 years ago the first Ice Age film came out and it became an incredible hit and spanning 3 films after it. Now we're on to the 4th one, Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. And is this one better than the other 3, or is this one drifting the franchise away? Now, the plot of the story, right, is basically, with any other thing, the gang, you know, Sid, Diego and Manny somehow managed to get themselves into bother or trouble, and in this case this big sort of you know, the whole world is shaping, and they've been separated by their herd, and obviously you know Manny had a fight with his daughter Peaches, so obviously that didn't, you know, help the cause as well, but they have to kind of find their way sort of back to the rest of the herd, but along the way they come across pirates, and a lot of bother happens with it, and also a new sort of love interest for Diego happens as well. Now, I'm going to get this straight, the graphics and the technology for this film is much better than the first one. Like, obviously because the first one, it was the first one that came out, it was new stuff that was coming out, so they didn't really have the sort of the best of graphics and whatnot, but you know, it's amazing to see how far they've sort of came through, and it's also great to see kind of like a good sort of progression on the herd and how they all kind of are one of a team. And I find like the pirates in this film are really good and quite funny, and you know, they're obviously the big sort of ape guy, he is basically the bad guy. He's actually pretty good, sinister bad guy. Like, he basically just, what he wants he'll get, and if he doesn't get what he wants he'll do the next sort of big thing. I kind of like that. There is kind of a big problem I have with the film though. Like, this is the 4th film, and one of the problems I have is I don't find the jokes aren't as funny as anymore. Like, I did laugh like a couple of times throughout the film. I just didn't feel as though they were connecting enough, and I was also getting quite bored sitting and like watching this. I was like, the first film I saw from the Ice Age series was the 3rd one, and I loved the 3rd one, and I managed to catch up with the other 2, loved them as well. I didn't really like this one as much, and I feel as though it's because it's just rehashing like the same problems, and it is, as the title suggests, it is drifting away from the franchise. But I think it's maybe about time they either introduce new characters or start with like Peaches, you know, because I think she'll become like really sort of good, and the rest of the cast should just be sort of minor characters. Now, as I also say about the love interest, we've got this new sort of saber tiger. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I do know Jennifer Lopez voices her, and she's pretty good, but she reminds me of Diego like back in the first film, and I think that's maybe a homage to it, but again, it's typical, and you actually see it happening like from a mile off. In fact, you actually saw it from maybe like what the posters or whatnot, and you think, yeah, they two are going to hook up at the end of the film, and they did. Now, for my rating of the film, I'm going to only give it a good rating, but it's going to get like a 7 out of 10. I think kids though are going to love this more. They'll just give it a massive, like, either 9 or a 10. They'll pure love it, because then it's like another film and they'll love it. But I just feel as though I didn't like it as much, and I think it is, as I've said before, is drifting away from the series.